Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with my second of 6 videos celebrating the best movies of 2021. And yeah, this will be a top 5 video, part of my top 5 film series. Or playlist, I should say. Series is good enough. So let's rank down the top 5 best supporting actors of the year. Number 5, Marlon Wayans. Yeah, holy shit. Go figure, 30 years of being one of the most obnoxious, of being the most obnoxious comedic actor in the land. And with he's done dramatic work before, like with Requiem for a Dream. But with this movie, he was phenomenal in this, A great performance as Aretha Franklin's abusive and racist first husband, Ted White. He was excellent. He was easily the best thing about this movie, and I was genuinely mesmerized by his work in this film. Number 4, I would say Jared Leto in House of Gucci. Jared Leto as Paulo Gucci has gotten a lot of attention on YouTube. A lot of people mocking his Italian accent and claiming he was far too over the top. And yeah, he was. But you go back and you watch old footage of Paulo Gucci, and yeah, he sounded like that. Nevertheless, the makeup is remarkable, and even though it is incredibly over the top performance, it's just his performance as this talentless, delusional, spoiled rich man-child was absolutely great. And in my opinion, it's the reason to see the movie. Number 3, I'd say David Strathairn in Nightmare Alley. Nightmare Alley was kind of the sleeper surprise of the year for me. I actually, over the last few years, over the last 10 years I kind of felt that Guillermo del Toro had gotten complacent, settled in his old ways. But with Nightmare Alley, he just throws all of his skills and his majesty at the wall. And with the performance of David Strathairn as Old Pete, the drunken, old, burnt-out carny, who is the mentor of Bradley Cooper's character, and quite frankly, probably the only person in the whole world that Stanton Carlisle gives a shit about. He's terrific in it, and yeah, sure, he's he dies in the first hour of the movie. But, his character is the catalyst of the whole events. Without him, there is no movie. And to see David Strathairn, who is an Oscar nominee, he's been around for nearly 40 years now, and I've always thought he was such a good character actor. I actually would have liked to have seen him play when they were doing the TV remake of The Shining back in the mid to late 90s. He's actually who I wanted to play Jack Torrance. But I've always thought he was a terrific actor, and we kind of get this statesman performance from him, even in his mannerisms and shit like this, you can see the influence his character has on Bradley Cooper's character. He's terrific in it, and frankly, there's, like I said, since the story doesn't work without his character, kind of makes him all that more important to the movie, even though he has a reasonably short amount of screen time, considering how long the film is. And number 2, I'm going to say Timothée Charlemay in The French Dispatch. Charlemay had a good year. I know he's already an Oscar nominee, and he was a star of this year's Dune, which was phenomenal. But this performance as Zeffirelli, the young, womanizing socialist who's very insecure about his new muscles. He was terrific in this movie, and the reason what's so great about it is his performance, is his physical, what he brings to it. I mean, I've I believe Anderson's first film was Bottle Rocket back in 1995, and I've been a fan since that came out of Anderson's movies. And this kid was like born like 97, I think, maybe a little earlier. But you can see that this is the first actor he's ever worked with that grew up on his films, or at least brings that kind of attitude to it. I mean, all his line delivery is with this kind of pompous, stone-faced, dry delivery. All his mannerisms are very, very akin to, like, say, a silent movie. It's just an amazing performance. He's absolutely great. Maybe one of the best performances in all of Wes Anderson films. And like I said, a lot of it is because you can see that this kid wanted to be in a Wes Anderson movie. And my number one, my winner for the Best Supporting Actor of 2021 is Jamie Dornan for Belfast. Oh my gosh, just so good. You know, like I said, this earlier in my review, that he did 50 Shades of Grey, he was Christian Grey, and to be honest, both those kids tried with that movie. they did try. But, I mean, he was terrific in this. And just, as I said, that, and also my Best Supporting Actress video, that the love and devotion and loyalty and dedication to not just their children and their family, but to each other as a husband and wife. It's so powerful in this movie. It's one of the best displays of just good, respectable parents I've ever seen in a motion picture. And he's not only one of the best performances of the year, one of the best characters of the year, but maybe even the fucking hero of the year. The just average, everyday, working class dad. And fuck, he's great in this. He's absolutely fucking phenomenal in this movie. And as soon as they kind of took the parent characters out of what you would think possible lead role categories and put them in the supporting categories, as soon as the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice Awards were announced, both Balfe and especially Jamie Dornan went from hopeful nominees for Oscars to bona fide favorites, and in Dornan's case, the bona fide frontrunner. He's the man to beat. He should absolutely win Best Supporting Actor for Belfast. What a great performance. And let's run through some quick honorable mentions. And I'm going to pause real fast too for that. So our honorable mentions is, first off, a trio of actors from Spider-Man No Way Home. Willem Dafoe, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire. You can make a fair argument that any one of these three guys steal the movie. Seeing Tobey Maguire return as a more mature, more fulfilled version of his Peter Parker, and kind of being like this beacon of how life could be for a young Tom Holland was inspiring. Andrew Garfield vindicated, if not straight up redeemed his performances as Peter Parker as a far more tormented and self-loathing Spider-Man who gets to redeem and he gets to redeem his biggest failure. And then there's Willem Dafoe, who was always great as the Green Goblin. A lot of people bitch about his costume. I actually think his just raggy homeless man costume in this movie is even worse than the suit he had in the original. But in this film, with the horrors he commits and the evils he goes to, really does solidify that. And no matter what universe it is, no matter who's playing Webhead, the Green Goblin will always be his true archenemy. Doc Ock's his greatest villain, but his true archenemy is the Green Goblin. Oh god, I'm just on honorable mentions here. Joe Taslim is great as Sub-Zero, even though a lot of people didn't like that movie. He was really the best thing about it to me. Brian Tyree Henry in Godzilla vs. Kong. People can get pissy about it, but I just think it's absolutely hysterical that the paranoid YouTube podcaster is the guy who essentially saves the world. Tony Leung as the Mandarin in Shang-Chi. Finally get a real cool version of the Mandarin. It's just a damn shame that the MCU will never see the real Mandarin go toe-to-toe with Iron Man. And that just adds to the whole missed opportunity of it all. Woody Harrelson as Carnage. I stepped away from the movie. I do agree with people that the sequel, even more so than the first film, needed an R rating. It's like, and also with all the comic relief supporting characters that really don't play into the story at all. Ultimately, it just takes away from what could have been a far more interesting movie about Carnage. Even though I think Woody Harrelson as Carnage was more than satisfactory. He was terrific in the role. And I didn't dislike the movie by any means, but I do think they could have done better. Anthony Michael Hall in Halloween Kills, another movie that was ultimately disappointing, especially on secondary viewings. But his performance as Tommy Doyle is the reason to see that movie. And I would say John Cena for the Suicide Squad, but if Taiwan's not a country, then John Cena's not an actor. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please come back for the next 4, covering the best films of 2021, at least judged by me, which means, well, it means a lot. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.